I'm struggling. I may have made a very large iced coffee.
You know, it's funny you say that. I made just a double espresso latte this morning, and I really wish I'd made it a quad. After I made it, I was like, I just really should have put it in. So you know what? That just means I get another one after the show, right?
That is true. I enjoy the summer a bit more at home because, as you know, I typically don't do a ton of summer travel. Mine's more of a little bit more shoulder off season, Olivia's break since she's not here as much. And I
Right.
find myself in the summer working more of like a 10 to 7. And I just
Yeah,
love it because I take my time getting up in the morning,
I don't
not
have a problem.
scrambling around. It's just delightful.
I've been kind of doing a.
And I know it's going to end.
I feel like I've been doing like an 8 to 7 lately.
Oh, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm talking about at my desk because
Oh,
running.
right. Yes.
I'm always on. I'm even on the couch and I'm just like,
Yes. Yes. I am not glued to my desk for 12 hours a day. Sometimes it's on the couch with the MacBook or, you know, in the bed with the iPad. Yeah.
yep, I've got the iPad charging right here. I had to do something kind of crazy with my iPad for work. You might appreciate this. It's called travel oriented. You know those little cards that you see at a hotel? It's a rack card of the hotel that has all their amenities, maybe a little map on it and stuff like that. Well, we have a brand new element opening in my company in Texas, and they're like, "Oh, can we get a map?" And I just like I could not find one that wasn't just super cluttered, fit with the color theme. So I drew one in Procreate on my iPad for us to use.
I hope you were rocking out to Does Anybody Have a Map?
No, I did not rock out to that.
That's a
I
shame.
was I was in a weird jam yesterday. I was definitely in the oldies range. Although I did send you somebody sent me that Whitney Houston remix that I've been
Oh, you
loving.
said, yeah, that was good. That was good.
It was so good.
That was
Oh,
great. I
my
enjoyed
goodness.
it.
Let's see who's in here so far. We got any comments here. Guys, remember, if you are on Facebook, you need to leave a comment with your name. Otherwise, we won't know who's commenting.
Well, Haley, it is top of the hour. Let's go. Well, guys, good morning. It is Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Nashville time. Not quite as good as God's time. I am Jason Poole. I am a travel advisor with Cruise Planners. I'm an American Express travel representative, and this is where we come every Tuesday and this talk about all things travel. We have a lot to discuss. This is my wonderful co-host, Haley. Say hello. Introduce yourself if anybody doesn't know who you are, but that's impossible.
I'm impossible. Good morning, everybody. My name is Haley. I'm the owner of Hospitality with a Flair, which is a hotel sales support company, and I write my own travel blog, HaleyWithAFlair.com. Love cruising, Europe, Disney, and all the things. I think travel. You guys pretty much get to Jason and I literally talk about for like 18 hours a day.
That is
That's
true.
what
That is
it is.
true. Maybe mine is the Disney stuff.
No, because you'll still shade it a bit.
I will. That's true.
Even
That
if
is
you're
true.
actively participating, Jason's going to throw up over the next couple months because I'm doing my first Disney cruise next month. And then I'm
Oh,
going back to Disney in October. My sister's getting married, and it's wine and food festival, and Mickey's not so scary Halloween party. So Jason's gonna like excommunicate me for 60 days.
oh, yes. Anyways, all right. Well, let's dig in. This is something that's been on my radar for a while. So tourism is open, and I say open in somewhat of air quotes for travel. But Japan is shocked as to why tourism is down about 95%, which basically means
This
it's
article
near
made me
zero.
laugh a little bit.
So, what's going on, right? I mean, Japan's a popular destination. Haley and I, you and I have discussed going to Asia many, many, many times.
And I won't lie, I debated looking here for New Year's this year.
Yeah, but you know what?
You know,
I'm not gonna do it for a while. So it's like, why? What's going on? Japan has very strict rules and requirements to come into the country. Okay. You have to book a tour group. There is no you just fly to Tokyo for a leisure trip, you go to your hotel and you explore on your own. No, you have to be in a tour group. That all of a sudden just makes a lot of people, even myself included, go,
Yep.
now would I do it with like a bunch of like friends and clients? Sure. But there's still a lot of mask requirements there, and a lot of people just don't want to wear a mask for a week nonstop to go on vacation. So there's just a lot of hurdles for Japan. So I personally would not call Japan like fully open yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. And then, like I said, this article was kind of funny. It's like, well, you're open, but it's extremely restrictive. And I get it, island nation, you got to do what you can.
Yep.
But if I'm going to spend that money to go to Asia, like even the masks I could deal with, but not being able to go
masks
out.
personally don't bother me.
Honestly, but not being able to go out on my own and explore, that's just kind of a
yeah. Because look, I mean, like especially a city like Tokyo I've never been, but it's supposed to just have like a legendary, vibrant night scene. I don't mean like just like clubbing, but like it's supposed to just be a vibrant city. And I would just love you and I to be just wandering the streets of Tokyo at night and like, get some cocktails and you watch me make faces at all the seafood you're eating. And I mean, it would be great.
Yeah, that's literally what it would be.
So yeah, so I mean, people keep asking me, when are you going to Asia? When are we going to Asia? When's the group going to Asia? I want to go to Asia. And I'm like, personally, I really want to go. But I am just
2024.
Yeah, I am just really taking a bit of a break. Not a break. I'm just kind of pausing my Asia plans until things kind of get back to normal, whatever normal is.
Whatever that is.
Whatever that is. So, all right.
Finally,
well, guys,
settled.
This has been the longest. I never thought I would discuss JetBlue, Frontier, and Spirit as much as we have these last few months. So
this acquisition has had more drama than like the whole ITA sale.
Yeah, it has been insane. So without summarizing the whole drama, JetBlue is going to purchase Spirit. Like that's it. It's going to happen. I think it's going to get approval from the government. I mean, they're gonna say, "Oh, less competition," but they're going to approve it, most likely. And I guess the question is why? Why is JetBlue purchasing Spirit?
Why do you think they're purchasing Spirit?
So I think JetBlue has ambitions to compete with the big boys. Okay. So in America, you have the three legacy carriers. Those are your top three airlines: your Delta, American, United. Southwest is number 4 in America as far as like size. And JetBlue is really big in some parts of the country, right? I mean, JetBlue is huge in New York, right? It's got a big Boston presence. It's even got a decent like Fort Lauderdale presence, right? But like, in Nashville, JetBlue has one gate. And it's B6, which is funny. It really is. Its gate is B6, which is its airline code, but it's gate B6. What I think is funny. And that's it, right? And Spirit has a few. So, I think Spirit might even be bigger out of like Nashville than like JetBlue is. So they're wanting to. So when they do this, they will be the 5th largest airline in the country, and I think they want to be more of a true nationwide competitor for Southwest, because I mean, Southwest used to be very affordable. Like it used to be like a budget airline.
It's not anymore.
It is not anymore.
That's kind of even what pushed me into doing Delta more initially early on.
I agree.
It was just like cheap. Like I see people like you used to have like these cheap flights. I'm like, that does not exist here. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I remember back in the day flying Southwest to Florida for like, $69 there and like $99 back, right? But those just don't exist. So JetBlue, I think, wants to be a true competitor nationwide to Southwest. So
I think that's it on a whole. And then I think there is another side of this as well when it comes to revenue management. The acquisition of this more budget friendly line, if they maintain it at that line, will allow them to maximize profits on their true JetBlue.
right, but look, you don't merge to lower prices.
Exactly.
You just don't do that. You merge to be able to keep a certain price point. So, I mean, people who were thinking JetBlue is now going to have Spirit pricing are fooling themselves, right? I mean,
100%.
so I mean, the prices are going to go up now. But did you see? We don't have a slide for it. But did you see Frontier was launching a retaliatory sale, like wherever like Spirit or
Well,
JetBlue flew, they were
I
selling flights
think,
for nothing.
well, I think that comes into bay too of why Spirit was the easier acquisition in that realm of true budget airlines, your Frontier, your Spirit, and Allegiant's another, but they're a little smaller. Overall, Frontier has gauged more of a community and story behind it.
I agree.
Like they're able to find additional ways to get more money. Like they have their Den Club. They have Kids Fly Free Days. Like they've just created some of these, you know, little offers that just nobody else is doing it. Honestly, nobody else
Right.
period does it, but they've done such a good job, I think, of commanding that more economical
I agree.
market.
I agree. I agree. So stay tuned. All right, guys. So this is interesting. So JP Morgan Chase, all the Chase Sapphire cards, all those cards, they're going to be launching an online travel agency. And the question is why? At first glance, it's like, why do we need another online travel agency? We have so many choices. But then you realize if you're like a Chase Sapphire card holder, you do not have as many of the online tools and resources that American Express gives their card members, right? Because American Express Travel is a huge online agency. And they even extend that to people like cruise planners, right? And I am able to unlock as a cruise planner almost all of the Amex perks, fine hotel and resorts, pay with points, the cruise privilege program, right? I can unlock all of those. And I have clients who were like, oh, I have a Chase Sapphire card. Can you do anything? I'm like, no. Right.
I mean, it goes back to even that previous topic we were just talking about, the value add.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
I have both cards because I signed up when it was like a 80 or 100,000 point bonus
Yeah.
for the Sapphire because they also transfer to KLM and Air France's program. They pretty much hit all the rewards programs that Amex didn't.
I know, like
But
Hyatt.
like Hyatt, which I find so weird that they don't have Amex affiliation, but I digress. But they don't have the additional perks. They don't have the airline credit like we have with Delta. Most of them are, but there's a good handful of their transfer partners where it's not an instant transfer. Like the Marriott transfer for Chase can take up to 72 hours.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like when you do a Delta, like an Amex to Delta transfer, it's
Instant.
it's seconds. Seconds. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's what's crazy is it's seconds like that with Hyatt, but not Marriott. Like there's some isms. Plus, you don't get the perks. Like with that Amex Platinum card, you get your Hilton Gold, your Marriott Gold. Like there's none of those benefits.
Right.
Even the online travel portal for Chase is severely lacking in
Right.
comparison. The only thing they're giving you to entice you to book through that travel portal is, a certain percentage back in rewards when you go through the portal. But that's not always the best price either.
Right. Well, so stay tuned. If you have a Chase Sapphire card, that's going to be interesting. So, well, we have some. I'm torn
So
about this one.
shocked.
I'm
So
torn, right?
shocked.
So we talked about
Felt
a
like we
week.
called this a couple weeks ago.
Right, we talked about a couple weeks ago how the CDC is no longer enforcing their rules on the cruise lines. They would offer recommendations and suggestions, but the cruise lines were free to kind of do what they want. Well, some major cruise lines, including Carnival, MSC, Royal Caribbean, Virgin, have decided to make some modifications to their COVID policies. Most notably is if you're in a sailing 5 nights or fewer, you no longer have to take a COVID test if you're vaccinated. If you're unvaxxed, like it's a child, they're allowing a small number of people unvaxxed to get on. I'm still not 100% sure of the policies and procedures for that. You still have to do a test.
Can you confirm? Because we had read something, in prepping for us going to Alaska next week with our first Today in Travel group cruise. I read that there's a service online that will allow you to use the test that you got from the government, and they will proctor that test. Have you seen
Oh, I
that?
haven't heard of that. I haven't heard of that.
More to come on that, because
Yeah,
I don't know
just
why it
thought
just like popped back up to me, like Jeff talked about it 2 days ago, and I was like, oh, I haven't heard that. That sounds a little sketch, but
that's interesting because I bought the eMed. I just have a stack of eMed tests in there. For the online proctoring. That's interesting. So I don't understand the I don't understand the 5-night or fewer. I don't understand that. So 4-night cruise. People are saying
everybody here in the comments, on point. Okay, that's what it's called, using free tests. It's like $15 a person. Thank you. I'm not crazy.
yeah. Okay. Wow. I that is the first I've heard of that. Wow. That's interesting.
We'll post that in the group too.
Yeah. On point. Okay. That is great. I've not heard of that. But I don't understand the 5 nights. Like, I don't get it. So if you're on a 3-night Bahamas cruise,
I think
no test required. You're on a 7-night Alaska cruise, testing required. It reminds me of some of the security theater that we saw, I should say, during some of the lockdowns, right? Like bars closed at 10 p.m. because COVID only came out at 10 p.m., right? So,
or even on the ship where you could order a drink at the bar, but you couldn't sit at the bar.
Right. It's just because theater. I guess someone made a comment in here, and I think that's probably right. I wonder if it has to do with symptoms, right? If
That's what Pam said. Yeah.
If it's a 5-night cruise, maybe won't show symptoms. I'm just like, okay. I guess I get it. I just think it's just kind of. I think it's just theater. I think so much of it is theater. Someone in here had a good comment. Oh, it was Dr. Carty said, be careful online services. Well-known bloggers got screwed by that company. Look, I have used the eMed that the cruise lines have recommended many.
That's kind of the route that I'm going, just because it's comfortable and it's known.
Look, I've used those. When I went to the Bahamas a couple months ago, we had to have a negative test to get into the Bahamas. And that's how I got into the Bahamas, right? I did the online test at home, uploaded the test. It's a great service. I'm bringing those test kits to Seattle, and that's what I will do in Seattle before the Alaska cruise. I think eMed does a great job. I've probably done those things a dozen or more times. I've just done it so many times. So I can vouch for eMed, on point. Cannot vouch for them. Yeah. No idea. So, all right. Was that it for the news, Haley?
That is it for the news.
Okay. I like our next question.
Yes. And guys, feel free to comment and on this one too, because this is going to be kind of a debate.
Yep.
I think it's funny where people think, certain things are fair pricing. For me, even example, what is a fair or great price for like a round trip flight to Florida for you?
I would say a great price round trip flight for Florida for me would be around 300 round trip.
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
I think 300's average, 250, 225, that's a great deal.
it's more expensive for you to get down there than me.
Oh, always. Always.
But
Unless
I also,
you're Frontier.
I mean, we do have Southwest nonstop to Florida, and I've done it a million times. But if it's the same price as Delta, I will still almost always prefer to go to Atlanta for a connection to get down there. I mean, I've done it. I've done the nonstops. I did it once last year. I had some Southwest miles I needed to get rid of. And I mean, was it nice to the nonstop? It was. Was it nice to get off of a cruise, do the 10:50 a.m. flight?
And
I
be
was
home.
home. I was home at noon central. I mean, it was awesome. So yeah,
Okay,
I think
what is your price parameter for a pre-cruise like hotel night
in the States,
in the States?
if I saw, so my favorite in Fort Lauderdale is the Hyatt Centric. If I saw that for mid twos to high twos, I would be very excited. But that hotel can get expensive.
So I'm not necessarily fair on this because
No, you're not. You're not.
I don't pay normal people prices for hotels. It also depends on what time I'm getting in.
You're
So if
right.
I'm getting in super late, like that 11 p.m., like I didn't leave New York until about 5, 6 o'clock at night, I will simply book like a Hampton Inn by the cruise port,
Sure.
call it a day, be done with it.
Yeah, don't blame me. Okay, what do
Um,
you think is a good price round trip to Europe business class, like Delta One?
I think business class is a joke for a good price. I think during peak season, I think if you can get round trip business class to Europe for between 2,500 to 3,000, that's a great price. I
Okay.
struggle, I think we've talked about it on this, with the US airline based lines that their business class isn't worth a whole more than 3,500 ish is kind of my realm.
Yeah.
If I can get
Yeah.
Delta One in general, even in the off season for under 2,500, I'm booking it.
Yeah, if I see Delta One round trip to Europe and the first number is a 2, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, especially if it's like a 2-1, as I've seen a couple times, like 21. I mean, I am doing backflips.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, with Delta's new premium select cabin,
Yeah.
with that being around $1,700 for some destinations in Europe, I'm kind of opting more to do that over Delta One, especially coming home.
Right.
Because it's a little bit nicer, and in the grand scheme of things, it's not that long. Like a 6-7 hour flight, that's not too long where I feel like I need
It's funny
it
you
all.
say that. 6 hours is kind of almost my cutoff point, right? 6 hours or fewer, I kind of am like, I can just deal with, premium select or comfort. It's not that big of a
Yeah.
deal. When you start getting into like the 8, 9, like 10 hours.
Yeah, like I mean, I will say when I flew home from Rome in November when I was there for business, my connection was Atlanta, and that's almost a 10-hour. It's like 9.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was in Comfort Plus. That was kind of miserable.
So
I
I've
mean, not
done,
awful, but like first world problems.
yeah,
But
no, so I did 2 Athens, Delta One, and it was like 9, and then coming home, the Delta one was too expensive. So I just Comfort Plus coming home, and it was like 9-10 hours and Comfort Plus, and it was, again, it wasn't
It was
awful. I just like
awful,
work.
but it was challenging.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my God, we're never gonna get there. And I'm not gonna even lie. When I flew home from Barcelona in the spring, I did Premium Select, and I really wish I'd like been Delta One because I just couldn't sleep. I was so tired. It was like not living in a major hub. When I wake up in Europe, I know it's a 24-hour day to get home, right?
Mm.
So I am often like, I wake up like I'm going to be awake for 24 hours to get home.
Michael
So
said $100 on Southwest is his limit.
yeah, well,
Life choices.
Pool class. Okay, here's another one. What do you think is a good deal for, let's say, two people for a 7-night Caribbean cruise in a balcony? What do you think is a good price?
Of course, this is ship dependent. So I'm going to say if we're leaning newer ship,
Yep.
I would say anywhere in the ballpark of 1,400 to 2,000 is a really good price.
Yeah, so I agree. So I think
And
1,500
that's
to,
more of a base rate. We all know some lines have like you can do always included or but I think,
yeah,
for example, like Symphony of the Seas, Ocean View balcony between 1,400 to 2,000 is a fantastic price.
I do too. So, and I think if you do, the more premium lines that include, like a Norwegian, a Celebrity that include perks, I think like a 25-ish is a good price for the lines that include the perks, like drink packages, all that kind of stuff.
Somebody said a good price is 100 a night per person. I mean, like you're not necessarily always going to find that in like the newer ships, but I mean, you can find some pretty crazy deals. I know that this is a little pool class here, but Jeff and I did an interior room for 7 nights Western
Whoa, 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 whoa.
2019.
Michael pool class,
Michael pool class,
not Jason.
But it was a getaway. My mom wanted to do something. We didn't have Olivia, and it's cold up here in February. And for the two of us for a week in an inside room, it was like $700 to get out of the snow.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Okay, yeah, I mean, these are great questions. I love them.
Well, here's kind of going back to the hotels because I know Pam talked about this too. We have a normal person. We have a hard time paying more than $250 for a hotel night unless it's a special occasion. I agree. So I'm more, if I was in a normal person's shoe when it comes to hotel, and there's at times I've been triggered almost there with not having employee and friends and family available. I would consider, if you are somebody that is cruising out of Florida very frequently, like you have to fly into Florida, like you need that pre-night, you should look at getting a Chase Sapphire Preferred card. Not right now, it's only 60,000 bonus. Wait. And transferring the points to Hyatt because Hyatt still has these set category amounts. So you could book like a Hyatt house for that quick overnight for as low as, I believe, 8,000 to 11,000 points. Because I don't think, some of these Hamptons, Hyatt Place, Fairfields, Comforts, in the Fort Lauderdale, Miami area are worth over $200 for the night.
Right. And I think it also depends on what you're doing, right?
Like I would almost stay closer to the airport than closer to the cruise port with some of the cruise
right.
ports.
I think it depends, right? Like, for example, when I go to Seattle, I'm doing 3 nights at the Thompson. Now I got a great deal. Like I got a good deal on it.
It's a beautiful hotel.
It's a beautiful hotel. But I made there for 3 nights, so it's a bit more of a like mini vacation, right? It's not a 1 night in Athens. I'm at the Grand Hyatt Athens, which is fine. It's nothing special, and it was fine for 1 night. Versus when I went to the Grand Hyatt Baha Mar, that was way more than $250 a night.
Yeah,
but that was the vacation, right? Like I went to that was the trip. So I think it kind of depends. Is it just one night before a cruise? Or is it, you are going to Las Vegas for a long weekend. You're at the Bellagio, you're at the Cosmo, you're spending more than $250 a night. So it just depends on, is it just to get you on a cruise, or is it you're going to Vegas? Are you going to the Grand Hyatt Bahamar? So
Absolutely. All right. Travel tip.
I like this one. I like this one. Hey guys, this might be iPhone centric. I apologize if Android has this feature and I don't know about it. We're just both iPhone people. So if you don't know, your iPhone has a medical ID feature, okay? And you can put emergency contacts in there. You can put your blood type in there if you're allergic to medicine, right? And all the paramedics know how to get into your iPhone, even if it's locked, they can get to the medical ID. So, for example, I have Haley as an emergency contact. I don't know if you knew that or not.
You're mine too.
Yeah. So in case there's an emergency, someone could like call Haley, like my brother's on there. So that between like the two of them, they could inform like everybody I know, right? Like Jason's in the hospital, they could let people know. But it's really important if you have a medical condition, right? Like you're allergic.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the way that I have mine set up, like yours is, I have think of those questionnaires that you are filling out when you're going to a new doctor or they need you to update your form. So thankfully, the one in the iPhone has medical notes, so you can actually just type them out.
Yep.
So it's not like you have to select things. So I have a section for my surgical history, like different surgeries I've had, estimated year. I have, my intracranial hypertension mentioned in there and what has been done for it. I have the exact dosage of what, my anxiety medication is in there, like pretty much anything that you would put on that form at the doctor's office filling out, do an abbreviated notes thing.
Right. And that will look.
And even the allergy section is typed in too. So if you have a sensitivity, if you're like, that kind of stuff is invaluable.
Especially if you are like something is urgent. Now, where do you find this? It is again, this is iPhone. I'm sure the Android has something like it. On your the iPhone has a health app. It's just called Health. And on the front page, there is a update your medical ID. And you just click on it and you just put in all of your information, your height, your weight, your blood type. Are you an organ donor?
Yeah, it kind of looks like this, guys.
Yeah. And you just put in everything on there, medical notes, allergies, medications. Actually, I have none of my medications listed. I'm going to do that today.
And make sure the bottoms are enabled so they can access it from the lock screen.
Right. Show when locked, share during emergency call. So it's just a great asset, and all the paramedics are trained for it. And if you guys are an Android person and it has something that, you can put it in our Facebook group and let us know. I just don't know anything about that.
Like, we like to think that nothing's going to happen to you on your vacation, but you never know. I mean, even myself being, with Jeff for 11 and a half years, I have him filling out his, because I forget what he's allergic to medication wise, because he hasn't had to deal with that as much. And, there's 500 other things I have going on in my mind. And guys, remember, if you don't know your blood type, you haven't ever had to do that, go donate some blood if you can, because they will tell you for obviously free what your blood type is.
Yeah. And another great tip is to put your travel insurance phone number in there when you're traveling. That way the hospital can just reach out to your travel insurance company, let them know, and kind of coordinate with them.
Yeah, and you can even put some of your regular medical insurance notes in there. Maybe you don't have to always put the policy number or whatnot.
I guess I'm thinking more out of the country, but if you're in the country, yeah.
So
out of the country, then okay.
Well, Jason, this was a fun one. I loved today's show. I loved all the topics.
This was great. This was great. I will be flying to Seattle this time in a week.
Yeah, so guys, remember the next two shows are not going to be normally you're welcome, Mr. Carney, are not going to be normally scheduled shows. We will probably do a little after hours ish event in Seattle at some point.
When are you flying to Seattle?
Wednesday.
Okay, I'm going Tuesday. Okay.
You're a day ahead of me. We'll probably do a little get together. We'll try to do one from the cruise, as you guys know, when you get up into that region of the world.
The ship internet could be right.
It could be a little hit or miss. So if you have questions, we will be posting stuff in the group. Do not forget to follow. It's todayintravel.live. Don't forget to follow on the YouTube channel. That's where all these videos are being stored and tips videos are posted. And share our group with other travel lovers. This is a community. Everybody has tips, things that we don't know. As you saw in the chat today, we shared some really great things.
I love it. Well, guys, thank you so much. Haley, I'll see you in a week and a day, I guess.
In a few minutes.
Yeah. All right, guys. See you guys later.